Hello everybody, my name is Joey Steenhagen, the artistic director and founder of Running to Places Theater Company, coming at you from the future home of the Running to Places Theater and our home base, a home that we're building for our very own for the first time in our history, right here at the Shops at Ithaca Mall. Right behind me, you can see the entrance. Those old timers among you will remember going to see movies at this spot before it ended up getting moved to the Regal back that way, Best Buy being back that way, Ultimate Athletics being right about there. So this is where the movie theaters were until they built the new ones a little more than a decade ago. They have been sitting pretty much unused, abandoned, just waiting for somebody with some imagination like the Running to Places team has got in spades to reinvent this space into a home for all of Running to Places stuff, from rehearsals, performances, storage, workshops, who knows what else, and to make it available for others in the community who could make use of such a venue as well. So come on, let's take a little tour. Construction is underway, and let's check out what is going on. So here we are inside the lobby, just on the other side of those doors. And this is going to be the grand entrance. This is going to be where the audience comes in for the shows. This is going to be our nice little lobby area. Check out that 1980s decor. I don't know, I kind of love it. We'll probably put stuff up here on the marquee, now playing. All that stuff. We'll get some furniture out in there, make it a nice comfy little lounge area. And then this is going to be the hallway that people go down as they're getting ready to buy tickets. Because we've been practiced for so many years having mobile box offices, having to set up shop wherever we happen to be for a performance, we're pretty good at having mobile units. So we may have just a series of ticket buying stations all the way down here. At the end of the hall, boop, right about there, is going to be the official box office with windows where we'll probably have cash purchases that we need to secure, but otherwise electronic ones we'll be able to have however many we want set up there to make ticket buying really fast and efficient for everybody. Let's head down the hall and see what's next. And just like that, here we are at the end of the hallway that we were just at the other end of there. So the box office is going to be right here in this corner of the hallway, but as you can see, the construction is underway. This is going to be kind of the main thoroughfare, the hallway outside of the theater itself. CSP management has been the wind in our sails from season one. Anyone who's ever seen one of our shows has heard that in a curtain speech countless times. They are one of our main supporters for this whole effort in a number of different ways. And in this case, the primary way is CSP management is providing the work, the actual demolition and construction of the conversion of the movie theaters into the Running to Places Theater. And so let's check out some of the progress happening down the hall. So here we are at the other end of the hallway, having just magically zapped down to the entrance of the theater. And so patrons would come down the hallway this way and enter the theater, which at the moment looks a little something like this. Let's go check it out from the stage. So here I am standing on what will soon be the stage of the Running to Places Theater. It's about 40 feet all the way from wall to wall and about 30 feet deep. That puts it all the way out to approximately here. We're gonna have about 330 plus seats filling this auditorium, and we can't wait for you to be in one of those seats. So the view from the stage, looking out into the house, you notice a couple of things. One, if we tilt up a little bit, the roof of the mall is just a few feet above the actual roof here in the room. That means that we're not going to have the ability to have a fly tower where scenery comes in and out, up and down. So instead, we make up for that by having wing space galore. What we've done is we've already knocked out the walls that separate this theater from the movie theater next to it over there, and we have nearly the full width of the stage extending past into the wing on both sides. So we could basically have a set piece that is the size and width of the full stage and have it roll right off into the wings and bring another one on from the other side and do that multiple times. We've got tons and tons of room for scenery, as well as, of course, for dozens and dozens of performers who are going to be in our shows. Let's take a closer look at some of the other spaces. So here we are in the stage right wing. If you're in theater, you know that stage right is to the right of the stage if you were on the stage facing the audience, so to the performer's right. You can see what will be the theater, the stage in the background here, but right now we're in the room that, in addition to having the wing, is also going to have our scene shop. This whole space is going to get converted into a place for us to build, store scenery, our tool shop, prop storage. A lot of those technical things are going to be housed in this space adjacent to the main hall. And now let's go to the stage left wing and see what happens over there. So here we are in the stage left wing, the other side of the stage. And you can see clear through to the stage area and the scene shop where we just were way in the background. The full width of the stage, including the wings, is going to be about 108 feet end to end. So that's a lot of space for us to use for performers, scenery, stage crew, all sorts of things that need to happen backstage at a theater. Once you exit stage left and you're in the wing, now you're in this area, and this entire wing is going to get converted into our dressing room and costume area. So imagine back here, if you will, dressing rooms. We're going to have boys and girls dressing rooms, as well as 2 separate changing rooms that are gender non-specified for anybody who wants to use those. The second story of this room is going to be costume storage. So if you can picture the dressing rooms going up about halfway, the roof of the dressing rooms becomes the floor of costume storage all the way up, which brings me to the tail of our second story. So see those projection booths? They're in the back of all of these theaters. Obviously, it was a movie theater. We're going to be cutting those open all the way side to side to create full access, so that the costume shop, which is going to be up on the second floor up there, will allow access to the dressing rooms and the costume storage above. Let's talk a little bit more about that second floor in a moment. So before I can tell you the rest of the story about upstairs, we got to ask a question. Where's the pit go? Here's the stage back there. There's not really room to put it in front because we can't sink the pit, which is why a pit is called a pit, for the musicians to go. We can't really put it behind because we don't want to give up the stage space for that. And we realized that there was an easy solution. Now, sometimes in theaters where there isn't room for the pit to be near the stage, it'll be in a completely separate room and piped and wired in. And we thought maybe we'd put it in the scene shop with microphones and wire it in. But then you're dependent on an electronic monitor so that the conductor and the performers can see each other. That, of course, is prone to failure sometimes. But also, we realized we have a solution right here in the room. I may have given it away before when I mentioned the second floor. We're not going to have a pit orchestra, we're going to have a booth orchestra. Right up there in the projection booth, we're going to have our orchestra and other technical things that go on, stage management, lighting control, sound, and stuff like that. This window is going to get raised up to the roof and extended the full width of the room. So it's going to be a balcony that oversees the whole thing. The conductor is going to be able to have line of sight to the performers. They'll be able to see the conductor's baton. They'll be able to hear each other, but we'll also enclose it so that we have the option of having it completely isolated for sound, so our sound designer has total control over the balance of the instruments and the voices, or we'll be able to slide the plexiglass open and have natural acoustic sound filling the hall as well. As we please, as we want to control it, we'll have all of those options. Do you want to go take a look upstairs? Great, come on, let's go. So here we are, up in the booth orchestra area. This is where we're going to be able to put the entire orchestra, and you can see the view from up here is fantastic. Musicians might be able to see the show for the first time ever. Normally when you're in the pit, you don't really get to see the show, but here, look at that. You can see the stage right from up here. I always kind of imagined a projection booth as being a booth, a tiny little room, but it's actually an open floor plan that we have access to the whole rest of the hallway. This hallway leads to all of the other projection booth windows for the theaters that we're going to be using and converting for our space. Goes in that direction, as well as this direction. That's in the direction of the costume shop right there. That space back there is going to be the costume shop. And in the other direction, we've got the windows that oversee and are going to actually access out to the upper level of the scene shop area and more. Speaking of more, let's go down that hall. So far, we've talked about 3 theaters, but our plan actually includes 4. Let's see what that's about. So right now we're at the other end of the hallway. This is all the way down in the wing that I was saying is overseeing the stage, scene shop, things like that. But there's a corner that we can turn. Well, let's turn it. So 1, 2, 3 theaters so far, but here's the 4th one. We're overlooking the 4th space that is going to be part of the Running to Places theater complex. And this theater is going to be converted into a dance studio, rehearsal space, flexible black box performance space, conference room, who knows what. One of the things I'm most excited about this whole project is not all the ideas of things that we're going to do that we can think of today. It's the things that nobody's thought up yet. But this space is going to be one of the things that makes it possible for us to let our imaginations run free and for the kids to come up with things that nobody has thought up yet, but this room is going to make possible. Let's go check it out from downstairs. So here we are downstairs in the secondary performance space, also known as the dance studio, rehearsal space, flexible meeting room, who knows what this is going to be. Just a moment ago, we were upstairs in that window looking down in it, and here we are. You can see the floor gently slopes. We're going to be leveling the floor by basically building one giant stage across the entire floor space. And by doing that, instead of pouring cement to make the floor level, it's going to keep it nice, safe, and healthful for dancers' knees and whatever else is going to be happening in here. We'll be able to arrange it in the round for performances, or maybe 3/4 with audience on 3 sides. Or we'll just be able to set it up for a dance studio because there's going to be a wall of mirrors over there. And this room is one of the things that I'm most excited about because of just the infinite possibilities that a flexible black box space like this can afford people with imagination. There's one more space that I wanted to show you. We're currently renting a 5th space. It's a short-term rental. We're renting one of the movie theaters across the hall from where we're building, just to use for storage and staging of things. One of the most heartening things about this entire process has been the community support that has just come flooding in since we announced our intent to do a project of this scope. We're obviously relying greatly on the generosity of our community, and we've just been blown away by people supporting it verbally, emotionally, as well as financially. But there's other things that have been pouring in that have been making it possible for us to imagine doing this, for a scrappy little startup nonprofit like Running to Places to be able to take on something like this. And that's illustrated by what is currently being stored in here. So for example, Newfield High School, who we've been friends and partners with since the beginning. Boy, we've been running to Newfield as one of our places since season 1. They're in the process of renovating their entire auditorium complex. It's going to be gorgeous when it's done, but they had a whole lot of stuff they needed to get rid of. And instead of it going into a landfill, they got in touch with us and asked if we wanted to claim any of it. So we've got all of the seats we're going to need for our theater. More than 400 seats Newfield donated to us. In addition to all of that, they donated dozens and dozens of lights, as well as the tracks that you need to plug the lights into and hang them. In the background, you can see the steel that you use to hang lights and curtains, as well as the tracks for other curtains. We've also been given donations from Ithaca College's theater department. Some of these lights are from IC as well. And way in the background, there are some other curtains that we're going to be using to appoint our theater. Thousands and thousands of dollars of stuff that we would have had to be raising and then spending on stuff that was otherwise going to be going into a landfill, we're going to be reclaiming, repurposing to make our own at great savings to us, as well as keeping out of a garbage pile. And so we're so grateful to our community partners who've been so generous and so supportive of it. Of course, all of that is not going to get us all the way home. We've been raising money all summer long, and the gifts have been so moving to us. Individuals, corporations, and granting organizations as well that have been stepping forward to support our efforts. we're really far along on that journey, but we're not done yet. And as the scope of the work has been continuing, we want to make sure that we're able to do this to the full extent and have it become the home that we envision for ourselves and for the rest of our community. So we hope that you will join us in this effort and you'll claim a little piece of our theater and our dream and our attempt to run home for the first time in our entire existence. You can pop over to runningtoplaces.org and see a link right at the top of the homepage, and you can make a gift of any size. There's naming opportunities. You can buy a seat. You can pay for it over the course of multiple years if that makes it possible for you to put your name and your stamp on this theater that we're calling home. We hope you'll join us. We hope you're as excited as we are to get a little sneak peek of the progress. Progress is happening quick. We're going to keep you up to date in the future with new developments as they arise, and we can't wait to see you online here as well as at the theater here real soon.